Hey, welcome to Joey's Hi-Fi shop. Today we're going to be talking about a vintage speaker that I have. It's called the Rega ELA. So let's get started. The Rega ELA, or ELA, I don't know how they pronounce it. It's ELA. And this version that I have here has actually multiple make one iterations. So this is kind of the middle of the iterations. There is one that is newer than this, and there is one that is older than this. There may be two that are older than this. And what's unique about this iteration is that it does have Rega's own driver, which this is the basis of pretty much all the drivers that Rega would come to iterate over the Rega ELAs that we have here today and the Rega R9s that we've talked about, both of those in the past. They're bookshelf speakers. Everything has been based around this driver here. And during this time, this was released, I believe, around 95, sometime around there. This speaker had the same driver that the Rega Kites had, and also that I believe the speakers above this, the Rega XEL had, and that one had an additional driver as well. So what makes these unique? Well, a couple of things. They have this dispersion pattern routed into their front baffle here, so that it's supposed to help with diffractions of high frequencies and things like that. And then the actual grill has little pins. You just plug it in. See if I can remember how to do this. I've always liked Rega's grills. They are a little delicate. You have to be careful with them. But I've always liked the way that they fit and look. This speaker pair that I got definitely is used. It was not advertised as being perfect. There's some delamination happening here on the speaker at the corner. They're definitely 30 years old. They've been cleaned up. I can tell someone went with a little marker and cleaned it up, made it look nice. But acoustically and mechanically, they work wonderfully. And one of the really unique things about this speaker is that it is a transmission line speaker. And so we talked about that a little bit when I talked about the R9s. And what that means is that this speaker has a folded, not horn, but a folded transmission line that literally has the bass come out of the top of the speaker here. And I'll rotate this thing around and show you what I mean. So right here, there's usually a little piece of foam that goes right here, but it's deteriorated over the years, and so it's just open. And you'll see here, it just literally goes down. I can put my hand in, I can feel the little wool that's down here to help acoustically absorb some of the frequencies as it comes out and around and then back up. And so what does that mean for speakers? Well, traditionally, let me get this thing turned around, back around for you. Traditionally, a transmission line speaker has a much smoother bass rendition. It plays the lower frequencies in a way that you don't really hear with a ported speaker, and has a little more extension than a sealed enclosure. And so it has this really nice kind of balance to it. And so this speaker definitely does that. It has a naturalness to it. In the 90s, this vintage of Rega speaker just has a very natural tone and musicality to it. You can hear the intention of trying to make a speaker that plays in a small space very nicely. Like I've said before, Rega, in my opinion, has always focused on being able to play a lot of different genres well. I think this is another example of that. It's really interesting to play electronica and kind of bass heavy music on it, to see how it renders that out in comparison to some of the modern speakers that you're used to hearing. and how these speakers, in my opinion, and from playing them on a lot of different systems, really have a control over the low frequencies that's kind of shocking when you listen to it. And it also has a scale that's pretty surprising, especially for the size of the speaker. This speaker is pretty much the same size as the Rega Aya. And so you can really see how times have changed over the years, the development of Rega speakers. These enclosures were also, there's a company called Royd, I think it's R-O-U-D or R-U-O-D. I think it's R-U-O-D. And they have their own drivers. They still make speakers to this day, and I could be wrong, but I believe Rega worked with them on some of their like enclosures and things like that. And so they have similar speakers with their own drivers from this era. And this was where Rega really started making its departure into its own space, especially once they started having their own drivers. And so the Rega Kite, which is a speaker about this size, a little bookshelf speaker. And I have a friend with a pair. Maybe I'll conjure those up and bring them up sometime and have us go over those. Were their first bookshelf speakers, and then they had an EL8, which was kind of like a in between the Kite. It was like a Kite floor standing speaker, and then you had the ELA, which is this speaker here, and then you had the XEL, which was like their flagship speaker, which I've been trying to get my hands on. It slipped out from under me about last year sometime. A set came up, and I just wasn't quick enough on the draw. But what's really cool, like I've said about Rega speakers, is just they're fairly inexpensive. I mean, all the speakers that I've been talking about are obtainable. It's just a matter of looking for them and finding them in good condition and cared for. Like I said, this pair here have been cared for, but they do show years of use. And at the same time, I've hooked them up to the Modern Electronics turntable amp, and they sound great. I also hooked them up to some separates we have over here from the 2000s. And they've been really, really enjoyable speakers. And I think you can get them for pretty good prices. So yeah, you can keep an eye out for that. Also coming up in a future video, we're going to be talking about this set over here. This is a Rega Jupiter and a Rega Io. This is a vintage 1998 Rega Transport and DAC. I've also procured all three sets, or all three Rega moving magnet cartridges. And so we have the Indy 3, the Indy 5, and Indy 7. So we're going to be making videos about those. And I have the Indy 7 hooked up to the Rega P8 behind me. So we have a lot of more videos that are going to be coming out. This one was just to highlight this small vintage speaker. You don't see these on the internet very much. If you look up online, you just don't. It's very rare that you're going to see them. And so I was excited to get a pair, excited to share this with y'all. Of course, speakers I have are for sale. You can buy this pair. You just contact me because I'm going to constantly be getting new ones in and taking us on this journey of vintage Rega. It's just not something that you see very much online. If you're searching for it, it's very, very sparse. So thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all are having a good day. If you have any questions about the speaker that you felt like I left out, contact me through the comments, email. I'm also on Instagram. So yeah, hope y'all have a good day and take it easy.